Okay, well, here we go. So, Ghislaine Maxwell found guilty on checking notes here. On, let me see here. How many counts? Five of the six counts. She was not convicted on the second count, which is enticement of a minor to travel to engage in illegal sex acts. Because apparently, while she acquitted on one account, without public statements from the jurors who have yet to come forward, it's impossible to say for sure. But the second count, enticement of a minor to travel to engage in illegal sex acts, was perhaps the most ambiguous of the charges levied. Maxwell was accused of having enticed Jane to New York City, arranging flights and offering gifts, knowing that Epstein would abuse her. During deliberations, the jury seemed to be hung up on this count, asking for a definition of enticement in a note. So the thing is, Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty. But it seems that, like I say, Ghislaine Maxwell will probably disappear, and she will probably also die mysteriously, much the same way as Jeffrey Epstein did. It's not really that surprising. Um, Anything about Bill Gates, anything about Alan Dershowitz even being involved with this, or Matt Groening, or whomever is on this list, including even Donald Trump or Bill Clinton, all these folks who had these big old lists of folks that visited Epstein Island and all this sort of thing, and they say that I didn't know anything about it, or whatever the case may be. Pish posh. The Prince Andrew, is it Prince Andrew? Which is, I really don't care about the British royal family. They're the most boring of the royal families that still exist, probably. I don't know anything about the Danish royal family or the Dutch royal family. I don't give a shit. But I know the English royal family is just hugely inbred. Oh, yeah, it is Prince Andrew. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is that, Prince Andrew will probably get off scot free. Um, like I say, people hold on to the royals because Anglos had been programmed to love the Queen and to, sing that song, Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Britons never, ever, ever shall be slaves. Of course, they've always been slaves. That's the irony of it all. Anglos have been the biggest slaves. That's not to say the United States aren't slaves either, but Anglos have always been slaves to something. They've been slaves to, this idea of imperialism or, creating, you know, this huge empire and trying to keep it alive and all this other bullshit, with some, basically some guy named Nigel with with a mustache, a pith hat, and, short shorts with, knee length socks, you know, with a riding crop saying, all right, man, let's go ahead and do it then, eh? That sort of thing. Anyway, just dabbing on Anglos for a little bit. Only Americans can really dab on Anglos because we're basically cousins. We're basically cousins. We're basically brothers. It's like it's one of those things. As much as Americans want to talk shit about Anglos, it's like we're pretty much the same thing. you know, it's almost like the North meme. But yeah, basically the Ghislaine Maxwell case. How's it going, American Dissident? How are you doing? Yeah, basically with the Ghislaine Maxwell case, as I said before, guilty on 5 out of 6 counts. Romanov's better than the Windsors. Okay, yeah, I'll take that. All right. But the thing is, though, the Romanovs and the Windsors were fairly closely related. It's the same. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I was gonna say this: that the Romanovs were related to, like I say. I mean, you look at side view of King George, or I'm sorry, no, I think it is King George. King George and Tsar Nicholas. You can tell they're a lot alike. And even the Kaiser, of course. These are all people that, like I say, this is kissing cousin sort of stuff. Like I say, you want to talk about inbreeding. Oh, man. When you look at the royal families, it's ironic, of course, because the last surviving members of the Hohenzollern family are technically in line for the British crown. I think I talked about in a stream, probably a year ago. Hell, I don't know. I put out so much bullshit. I put out so much bullshit content. But yeah, man. So yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell case. She was found guilty. This is simply something to keep people to throw a bone to. I haven't been talking about the trial because a lot of people have been doing it. I've been waiting for a result. It's like I'm in the boat that a lot of folks are. Is that I know it's bad, but it's one of those things where you're like, "Ugh, how can I give a shit about it? It's one thing with the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, or it's one thing with, the whatever bullshit is out there. That's one thing. But yeah, George V did abandon the Romanovs though, so much for family, I guess. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I don't know, man. It's with this whole trial business. This is basically going to, once this occurs, like I say, it's amazing to me, of course, how conspiracy theorists in general will talk about so many other things, and yet when it comes to this Ghislaine Maxwell stuff, and when it comes to this whole Epstein stuff, I haven't really been keeping track of the truthers or whatnot. In general, they don't talk about it. What these now grown women have said about the way, um, you know, Epstein and these folks saw the goyim and all that sort of thing. Like I say, an anti-Semite could not write the the feelings and the opinions that actual Jewish people feel for the goyim. And like I say, I try not to go. I try not to go there too often, but I remember hearing it, and just hearing some of it, and it's not really that surprising, but it's just like, oh, okay, and you realize this is where we are. you know, we're just kind of stuck in this malaise. Yeah, like I said, there's not too much else to say about that. I just think, the Ghislaine Maxwell case is now done. The Kim Potter case is now done. Yeah, she's convicted. That was kind of expected to me. It's like you can't be wasted in whatever way, go into some rando person's apartment and start shooting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna sit here and be somebody who loves the cops or whatever, but it's like, come on, dude. It's like imagine just being shit faced. Go into the wrong apartment and just start shooting. Unless that's not the right story. Please tell me. You can go ahead and tell me in the comments when this VOD is uploaded. But it's like nobody should defend that. Nobody should defend that sort of shit, right? They shouldn't. But yeah, man. It's where it is. I know I wish I could say something more than yeah, man, or yeah, this sucks. It's ridiculous, bro. I just repeat the same old bullshit phrases. I apologize. It's what happens when you put out so many videos and they all kind of sound alike. But Ghislaine Maxwell played her role, and you have to know that she knew that something like this would occur. I mean, after all the bullshit that's happened, it's like, no, you're the scapegoat, honey. It's like Epstein, committed, suicide, wink, wink, in his cell, that was watched 24/7. I don't know how that happened to him. It's almost like he didn't, but don't worry, I'm not promoting that. I think that both left and right wing folks can agree on that, and they can be. See, but here's the thing, though. I'm gonna go there because I can, because it's gonna be Fed posty. But here's the line though, where this is the difference between the left and the right. They'll say, "Oh, anti-Semitism is bad. Jews don't run the world. This and that." Oh. But then, of course, you'll find the links that Epstein had. You find out about all these connections and whatnot, and you're like, I mean, even Stalin knew about this to some point. The doctor's plot, the last plot that occurred in 1953, right? So he knew. And he knew also because he had Jewish wives. So yeah, he's in Tel Aviv. Interesting. Could be. Like I say, I try to keep those rants to myself in general, but it's like we know this is the difference between the left and the right, generally speaking. Is that they, like I say, left wing folks in general try to promote, well, it's like, we don't like Israel, but, you know, but we also don't like Hamas either, and all this sort of thing. We respect the trans and queer Palestinians. It's like, normal Palestinians do not want trannies and all that other sort of shit. You know why? Because some of the biggest gay pride parades in the world are in Tel Aviv. Yes. It's like I said, that's one of the contradictions of Israel, right? Where it's like you have this huge amount of gay rights, but then you're also trying to have like more of a, maybe not Tel Aviv specifically, but he's somewhere. Maybe so. But why would they keep him around? If his name's out there and all this sort of thing, what use does he have? Like I say, I think that people like Epstein were middlemen in general. I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it? I think I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon, but yeah, there's a lot of that sort of belief where we don't want to promote anti-Semitism. Of course, the mainstream right and more the normie right wing says the same thing. Well, we don't want to promote anti-Semitism. We like Israel, we like Zionism, and all that sort of thing, right? So they'll just be like, "There's just a few bad eggs." But yeah, some country, Iran, needs a glass test. Yeah, don't worry, I'm not gonna post that. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, but yeah. The thing is, I think Israel, in a lot of ways, will destroy itself. You know, I mean, Israel to me, already is, like I say, there's already, like I say, you can build a lot of different sorts of, separate, all. Can I put a sentence together? God damn. I was gonna say is that with Israel, you have the Ashkenazis, as far as I know, generally speaking, at the top of society. Of course, European, I could say more Western European Jews, generally speaking, apart from Sephardim, if you will. But you have the Sephardics, the Mizrahis, and everything else who are lower on the rung. And the thing is, they're hated just as much as anything else. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I think that they'll destroy themselves because they can't really keep Judaism alive. You know, and like I say, gay pride parades are huge in Tel Aviv, huge, and yet it seems to be side to side, side by side with this sort of, the Wailing Wall and all that sort of thing in Jerusalem. You know, like I say, believe me, I get the anti-Semitic rant to go on. I've already gone somewhat on that scale, but you have to be careful. Be careful going there, folks. You got to be careful with going there because obviously, you don't want to end up too far down the Wignat route that it's like everything's Jewish and Christianity's Jewish. Why do you worship a Jew on a stick? That sort of Wignat paganism type stuff. And it's like then you get into the ultimately you just become Hindu and you go full circle, and you find out that the Hindus actually like Israel. The BJP likes Israel, so you just go around in a big fat fucking circle. Now, of course, I know people are going to say, "But that's not real paganism." Oh, what about European paganism? Just because we have to learn Hinduism because our culture was destroyed by Christianity. Well, maybe if you didn't have such weird stuff that happened, Mm. But yeah. Anyway, that's just me coping at the end of the day. I know people are going to be upset by that, but what the hell are you going to do? Not much. So anyway, I apologize for that one new person who came in. I know you're like, what the fuck is this fool talking about? And you are absolutely right. I have no idea. But anyway, happy new year. I may do a stream tomorrow. I may not. I may wait until the weekend to do a wrap up 2021 stream. I may not. So we'll just see how it goes, like I say. But if whatever does happen, I wish y'all a new year. And all I can really tell y'all is to keep your head up, avoid as much bullshit as possible. Um, just realize that this is, this world that we live in right now is temporary, and you have to think about beyond that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this stream. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I know American Distance tell me it's like, hey, please leave. So anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. So see you later. Bye bye. No offense at all.